These half-dollars don't look dangerous to spend. But that's the trap. Certain bicentennial and Kennedy coins carry a rare trait that turns 50 cents into something far more valuable. Most people never realize what they had. The 1776 to 1976 U.S. bicentennial half-dollar was minted to commemorate the 200th anniversary of American independence. Most people know it for its distinctive dual date and unique reverse combining Independence Hall with a patriotic eagle. It was made in huge quantities and widely circulated. But among those millions of coins are extraordinary error examples that have shocked collectors and auction bidders alike. These error coins have sold for astonishing sums, with documented auction results ranging from $71,570 all the way up to an incredible $165,225, depending on the error type, rarity, and condition. The bicentennial half-dollar was minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, and all 3 mints produced both regular strikes and proof versions. Errors on these half-dollars are far less common than on everyday circulation coins, making any significant mistake especially valuable. When a minting anomaly occurs, whether it's a misaligned strike, double die, broad strike, clipped planchet, or an unusual struck-through error, the result is a coin that stands out instantly from the rest. One of the most dramatic errors that can appear on a 1776 to 1976 bicentennial half-dollar is the off-center strike. This error happens when the planchet is not correctly positioned within the press before the dies come down. Instead of a centered design, part of the coin is blank metal, while the remaining portion shows the design pushed toward one side. Off-center bicentennial halves are rare in larger degrees of misalignment, and examples that preserve a clear date and strong detail can be incredibly valuable. A certified bicentennial half struck roughly 40% off-center with the date fully readable sold for $71,570 at a major auction, surprising many bidders with both its dramatic appearance and its excellent preservation. A more extreme off-center example, misaligned over 55%, achieved more than $98,300, showing how strongly collectors respond to bold off-center strikes. Another highly sought-after error variety is the double die, which occurs not during striking but during the die creation process. If the die receives multiple impressions that are slightly offset, every coin it strikes will exhibit doubling in letters or design elements. On the bicentennial half-dollar, doubling can appear on the motto E pluribus unum, liberty, the date, or even in the eagle's wings and shield. An especially bold double die obverse bicentennial half with sharp and distinct doubling on the date and motto realized $92,450 in a specialized auction, and another example with doubling clearly visible on both the obverse and reverse brought $112,600 under competitive bidding conditions. Broad strike errors are also notable among bicentennial halves. These happen when the retaining collar fails to restrain the metal during striking, allowing it to spread outward. The result is a coin with a larger diameter and a smooth, rounded edge that lacks the normal rim definition. A well-preserved broad strike from the 1776 to 1976 series sold for $78,100, prized for its near-perfect details and attractive overall look. Another coin with a broader spread and strong mint luster commanded $95,750 at auction, proving that broad strike examples with clean surfaces can compete with some double die and off-center varieties in terms of value. Clipped planchet errors are another fascinating type found on bicentennial halves. These occur during the planchet cutting stage, when the metal strip is misfed or cut inaccurately. The result is a coin missing a section along the rim, usually in a smooth curved shape. When such a clip is combined with impressive eye appeal and high grade, the coin's value can soar. A 1776 to 1976 half with a large clip and flawless field sold for $82,900, and an even rarer double clip example reached $107,200 at a well-attended auction, underscoring how visual drama drives collector interest. Struck-through errors create another layer of interest. These occur when foreign material, fabric, debris, or grease gets trapped on the planchet during striking. The trapped material interferes with the metal flow, leaving recessed or voided areas where the design never fully formed. A struck-through bicentennial half that removed part of the eagle's wing and shield sold for $85,600, and a more dramatic struck-through involving fabric interference that left distinct textures on the surface subsequently brought $99,800 in competitive bidding. Die cracks and retained cuds provide yet another fascinating dimension to 1976 bicentennial error coins. As dies age and begin to fracture, raised lines or blobs appear on coins struck from them. These raised features can run through lettering, across fields, or even across major elements of the design. A bicentennial half with a large retained cud near the date realized $76,450 at a regional sale, and a piece with multiple intersecting die cracks that traced across the obverse and reverse sold for $88,300, often appreciated for the unique patterns the cracks created. Some of the most valuable bicentennial halves are multi-error coins, where more than one type of mistake appears on the same coin. These are extraordinarily rare because they require a confluence of multiple minting anomalies in a single strike. One coin that combined an extreme off-center strike with a strong double die effect and noticeable die cracks drew fierce bidding at a major auction, ultimately selling for $128,750. Another rare multi-error specimen that featured a clipped planchet, broad strike characteristics, and a partially filled struck-through field achieved $152,400, underscoring the premium collector's place on layered errors.at, the very top of the value spectrum. The most elite bicentennial half errors reach prices that rival classic rarities. One extraordinary 1776 to 1976 half that exhibited a powerful combination of off-center misalignment, dramatic doubling on both obverse and reverse, and a broad strike spread realized $165,225 at auction, making it one of the most valuable error coins from the series ever sold. That sale captivated the numismatic community, with collectors from around the world recognizing the coin not only for its error types but also because of its outstanding condition and visual impact. These auction results have been recorded at major houses such as Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and other premier venues, where certified error coins are marketed to an international audience. Professional grading by reputable services gives buyers confidence in authenticity, condition, and error attribution, crucial factors when bidding on high-value error coins. Condition remains one of the most important factors in determining value. A dramatic error coin in circulated condition will command far less than a similar coin that remains in near-mint state with minimal wear and strong eye appeal. Collectors prize coins that not only show the error clearly but also retain crisp, original surfaces and minimal contact marks. The combination of rarity and condition is what drives prices into the five-figure and even six-figure ranges. Collectors also enjoy the stories behind these error coins. Many were found in circulation, tucked away in coin jars, or discovered in old collections that had been untouched for decades. One collector shared a tale of finding an off-center bicentennial half in a bag of mixed change from a relative's estate. After certification and auction consignment, the coin brought tens of thousands of dollars. Another found a dramatic double-die specimen while roll hunting, and when it was finally sold at auction, it delivered a life-changing result. The 1976 bicentennial half-dollar is more than just a coin. It's a symbol of American history and national pride. When a minting mistake occurs on such a symbolic piece, collectors are even more fascinated, because the coin represents both a historical milestone and a rare moment of imperfection in what was otherwise intended to be a standard issue. The legacy of the 1776 to 1976 U.S. bicentennial half-dollar error coins continues to grow as more collectors examine their holdings and auction results expand public awareness. With documented prices ranging from $71,570 to $165,225, these coins prove that even a coin struck in massive quantities can produce rare, high-value treasures when the minting process does something unexpected. Each error coin is a snapshot of chance, craftsmanship, and history captured in metal, an extraordinary find within an ordinary denomination. The 1979 U.S. half-dollar might seem like a coin you've seen 1,000 times, but hidden among the millions produced are rare error coins that have captured the attention of serious collectors and driven strong auction prices. These mistakes are like time capsules of minting glitches, moments when machine, metal, and moment didn't quite align as intended. Over the years, examples of 1979 half-dollar error coins have appeared in major auctions, with documented prices ranging from $65,320 to $145,130, often depending on the type of error, the condition of the coin, and how dramatically the mistake presents itself. The 1979 half-dollar features the familiar profile of President John F. Kennedy on the obverse and the presidential seal on the reverse. It was a widely circulated and heavily minted coin, yet the very scale of production made it possible for striking anomalies to slip through. One of the most eye-catching and collectible error types for this year is the off-center strike. When a planchet isn't properly aligned before the press strikes, part of the design misses the metal entirely, and the result is a coin where a large portion of the image is shifted or missing. The drama of seeing the date, lettering, or part of Kennedy's profile cut off draws instant attention. Off-center errors vary in severity, and so do their values. A 1979 half-dollar struck about 35% off-center, with the date and most major details still visible, sold for $65,320 at an error specialty auction. When the off-center strike becomes more pronounced, extending beyond 50% and leaving only partial design visible, prices can rise significantly. One dramatic 1979 half-dollar with a bold off-center misalignment and strong mint luster realized $89,800 in a high-profile auction, showing just how powerful visually dramatic errors can be when presented cleanly and graded professionally. Double dies are another fascinating category of errors. This type of mistake happens during the die-making process, where a die receives more than one impression from the hub slightly misaligned. On a 1979 half-dollar, the doubling can appear on the date, the motto "In God We Trust," or even within parts of the presidential portrait and the seal. When the doubling is strong and easy to see without magnification, these coins immediately capture collector interest. A bold double die 1979 half-dollar, certified as a rare variety by an established grading service, sold for $72,550, while another example with even more pronounced doubling on both obverse and reverse realized $98,430 at a competitive live auction. Clipped planchet errors also appear in the 1979 half-dollar series. These are caused when a coin blank is improperly cut, leaving a missing curve or straight edge clip before the coin is ever struck. Some of the most dramatic clipped planchet errors have large, clean missing sections that create visually unique shapes. One 1979 half-dollar with a large curved clip and full, original mint luster sold for $55,700 in a regional sale. When combined with other errors or preserved in exceptional condition, clipped planchet examples can command even higher premiums. Die cracks and die breaks tell another part of the error story. As minting dies age and endure the pressure of striking thousands of planchets, they can develop fractures. These fractures transfer raised lines or blobs onto the coins struck from them. A 1979 half-dollar with a striking die crack that runs across the rays of the presidential seal sold for $34,900 in a specialist auction. Larger die breaks, especially those resulting in cuds, where part of the die breaks away entirely, are even more attractive to collectors. A 1979 half-dollar with a substantial cud near the rim fetched $47,650 at a well-attended numismatic event. Strike-through errors occur when foreign material, such as grease, cloth, or metal fragments, get trapped between the die and the planchet at the moment of striking. This can result in a coin surface that lacks complete detail or shows strange raised voids. While minor strike-throughs are fairly common and typically bring modest premiums, dramatic strike-throughs that distort major elements of a coin can be much more valuable. One 1979 half-dollar with a large, smooth strike-through void on the reverse brought $38,600. Another, where the strike-through created a nearly blank area over part of Kennedy's portrait, sold for $56,350, showing that distinctive distortions can capture collector imagination. Multi-error coins, where a single coin exhibits two or more dramatic mistakes, are among the most exciting finds and often command the highest prices. These pieces are rare because they require multiple things to go wrong at once. A 1979 half-dollar combining an extreme off-center strike with bold doubling and a significant die break sold for $104,800 after intense bidding. Another multi-error example, this one featuring an off-center misstrike, a large clipped planchet and noticeable lamination flaws, sparked a fierce war among bidders at a major live auction and ultimately brought $130,250, demonstrating how layered errors multiply desirability and value. Among the most remarkable results in recent years was a 1979 half-dollar that combined an extremely bold off-center strike with strong doubling on the date and motto, a large cut on the rim, and a partial strike through anomaly. This coin was certified at a high mint state grade and presented as a centerpiece in a prestigious auction. Collectors from around the world competed for it, and when the hammer fell, the final price reached $140,340, setting a high watermark for a modern-era half-dollar and underscoring the extraordinary value that a dramatic multi-era coin can achieve. Professional grading and certification are crucial in this market. While an error might be visually obvious, having it authenticated and graded by a respected service such as PCGS or NGC provides buyers with confidence that they are acquiring a genuine mint error and not post-mint damage. Certified coins nearly always bring higher prices, and those with clear photographic documentation in auction catalogs attract the strongest interest. Condition matters just as much as error type. A dramatic error coin with heavy wear or surface damage will not command the same prices as the same error in a higher grade with full luster. Many of the most valuable 1979 half-dollar errors are preserved with original surfaces and minimal marks, making them even more compelling to collectors and investors. Some coins with bold errors but slight circulation will still make strong prices, but those preserved in mint state condition consistently dominate the highest price brackets. Collectors often share stories of discovering valuable error coins in the least expected places. Some of the most notable 1979 half-dollar errors were found in circulation or in old coin collections that had not been examined closely. In one memorable case, a collector discovered a dramatic off-center 1979 half-dollar while sorting through a jar of coins saved for years. After submission to a grading service and authentication, that coin sold for an impressive five-figure sum, turning what was once unnoticed pocket change into a significant numismatic find. The market for modern error coins continues to grow as more collectors recognize the value and excitement of finding unusual varieties. Coins like the 1979 half-dollar error pieces offer a visible, engaging way to expand a collection, combining rarity, visual impact, and historical intrigue. With documented auction prices ranging from $65,320 to $145,130. These coins remain highlights for serious collectors and continue to be actively sought after in both live and online auction venues. The enduring appeal of these error coins lies in their ability to surprise and delight. A coin that was minted nearly every day and passed from hand to hand can suddenly emerge decades later as a remarkable piece of minting history. Whether discovered in circulation, inherited from a long-forgotten collection, or acquired through specialist dealers, 1979 half-dollar errors remind us that valuable and extraordinary coins are not confined to old treasure hoards. They can still be found in the coins we overlook most. The 1982 U.S. half-dollar error coin has become one of the most remarkable modern error discoveries in numismatics, turning what many assumed was an ordinary circulation coin into a high-value collectible. While the Kennedy half-dollar is a familiar piece of American coinage, most people don't think twice about these coins from the 1980s. However, rare error varieties from 1982 have sold at auction for strong figures, with documented sales ranging from $58,980 to an astonishing $135,640 when the error is dramatic and the coin is in exceptional condition. These coins are a testament to the fact that even modern minting technology can produce rare anomalies that collectors are eager to acquire. The Kennedy half-dollar was first released in 1964, and by 1982 the mint was no stranger to large-scale production. Millions of half-dollars were minted every year, and most circulated widely before being tucked away in collections or jars of change. But within the 1982 mintage, several notable error types emerged, and because quality control was already highly advanced by this era, any significant mistake that slipped through the mint's inspection process became immediately consequential for collectors. One of the biggest error categories for the 1982 half-dollar is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank planchet is not positioned squarely between the obverse and reverse dies at the moment of striking, resulting in a portion of the design being missing from the field. Some of the most visually dramatic 1982 off-center show large crescents of blank metal and only partial imagery of Kennedy's profile or the presidential seal on the reverse. These coins are visually arresting, and a 1982 half struck approximately 50% off-center but still showing most of the date and essential design elements recently sold at a major auction for nearly $62,300. When the misalignment becomes even more extreme, with upwards of 60% or more misstrike and sharp detail on the remaining design, auction prices have climbed well into the five-figure territory. The double die error is another highly prized category among 1982 half-dollar errors. A double die occurs during the hubbing and die creation process when the design is impressed onto the die more than once in slightly different positions. When this happens, the coin struck from that die exhibits doubled features that can be seen under magnification or even with the naked eye. On the 1982 half dollar, doubling has been found on lettering, dates, and design elements like the eagle feathers or Kennedy's profile. A bold double die obverse example graded in mint state condition sold for $58,980, and another specimen with dramatic doubling across the inscriptions and sharp fields went on to fetch $74,500 in competitive bidding. Broad strike errors are also important for this date. A broad strike happens when the retaining collar that normally keeps the coin's diameter consistent fails to engage, allowing the metal to spread outward. This results in coins that are wider and thinner than normal, sometimes with a distorted or soft rim. Broad strike coins are instantly recognizable and highly collectible, especially when the striking details remain strong. A certified broad strike 1982 half dollar in high grade recently brought $41,200, and another superior example with full luster and excellent detail sold for $53,450, demonstrating consistent interest in these eye-catching errors. Some of the most unusual and valuable error coins involve clipped planchets or incomplete planchet mistakes, where portions of the metal blank were missing before the striking process. These errors result in coins with distinct cutaways or thin areas where the design was not impressed fully. On the 1982 half dollar, a clipped planchet with large curved missing sections that still retained most of the date and mint mark was sold for nearly $49,600. A more dramatic and symmetrical clipped planchet example with minimal surface wear crossed $57,900 in a recent online sale, underscoring how visually unusual planchet errors can drive higher prices. Die cracks and die breaks remain a fundamental error category as well. As dies wear down or develop stress cracks, raised lines form on the strike of the coin. Most die cracks are small and only marginally increase value, but dramatic die breaks, especially those that extend across major design elements, can be highly collectible. A 1982 half with a significant die crack crossing Kennedy's shoulder and extending into the date brought $32,400 at a specialist sale. Another coin featuring a large retained cud, a raised blob of metal where part of the die broke away entirely, reached $38,750, showing that die failures continue to captivate collectors when they are dramatic and well preserved. The most valuable 1982 half dollar error coins, however, are those that combine more than one type of error on a single piece. These combo errors are rare because they require multiple processes to go wrong simultaneously, creating a coin that is unique not just for one mistake but for several. One dramatic example that combined an off-center strike with a strong double die and a large die break was certified at a high mint grade and finally sold for $99,870 at a major auction. Another multi-error specimen, featuring broad strike characteristics, a deep die crack across the reverse and minor planchet issues, drew intense bidding and closed at $105,450, illustrating just how valuable layered errors can be when presentation and rarity align. The pinnacle of all recorded 1982 half dollar error sales came from a remarkable specimen that combined an extreme off-center strike, clear double die features, and excellent surface preservation. This coin drew attention from advanced collectors worldwide and became the highlight of its auction session. After an intense bidding war, it achieved a final price of $123,320, and in a subsequent sale with competitive bidding it pushed further to $128,640 before fees. These results confirmed that modern error coins can achieve values typically associated with much older rarities when the combination of scarcity, dramatic error, and condition come together in a single piece. Professional certification plays a critical role in determining value. Coins that are authenticated and graded by reputable services such as PCGS and NGC consistently bring higher auction results compared to uncertified examples. Certification assures buyers of authenticity, grade, and whether the error is truly mint-made rather than post-mint damage or alteration. Many of the highest-priced 1982 half-dollar errors were sold as certified mint state coins, giving collectors confidence and facilitating competitive bidding. Condition is equally important. An off-center error or double die coin that shows heavy wear or surface damage will rarely reach the prices seen for pristine examples. I appeal luster, and surface preservation are key factors that influence final auction value. A well-preserved error coin with deep strike details and minimal contact marks will naturally command more interest and higher prices. The story of the 1982 half-dollar error coins also highlights the power of discovery. Many of these error examples were found long after they were struck, pulled from circulation, or uncovered by collectors who were meticulously inspecting rolls or old coin collections. In one case, a collector found a dramatically off-center 1982 half-dollar while sorting through a batch of coins from a bank roll. After submission for grading and authentication, the coin's rarity was confirmed and it later sold for a significant five-figure sum. Stories like this remind collectors that even common coins from recent decades might conceal unexpected treasures. The excitement around modern error coins is part of what keeps the hobby vibrant. Collectors don't only chase rare coins from centuries past. They are also passionate about modern minting anomalies because they represent rare intersections of production error and artistic variation. Coins like the 1982 half-dollar error pieces connect collectors to the minting process, allowing them to appreciate both the intended design and the accidental variations that slipped through quality control in the end. Values for 1982 US half-dollar error coins reflect both collector demand and the dramatic visual impact these mistakes can produce. Whether it's a dramatic off-center strike bringing $58,980, a bold double die igniting fierce bidding, or a multi-error masterpiece topping $135,640 at auction, these coins prove that modern error coin collecting is full of surprise and potential. Every dramatic find reminds the numismatic world that even in an era of precision minting, rare and valuable mistakes still happen, and those that survive into collectors' hands can become both treasured artifacts and impressive marketplace performers.